As we enter the 6th month of our annual budget, I wanted to share with you how we're doing as a church, as well as laying out for you some of our plans for the future. Now, before we dive into it, I'm aware that talking money is not everyone's cup of tea. But nevertheless, I think it's really important that we start to own this together as a church, since I think how we treat our money tends to reveal a lot about the priorities of our hearts. That goes for us not just as individuals, but for us as a church. Now, as a church, we don't vote on things, but we are keen as an eldership team that you, the church members, feel empowered to speak into and ask questions about anything you like to do with how we're spending the money that's been entrusted to us. And we also want you to know that we never act alone when it comes to making financial decisions. Rather, we're overseen by our team of trustees who are the responsible legal guardians of us as a charity. More on that from Simon in a bit. Now, along with the trustees, we're also committed to stewarding the finances entrusted to us, both carefully and faithfully, literally with as much faith as we can. Now, let's talk first of all about our income. But before we do that, I want to make a couple of things clear. Of all the money and funds that I'm about to talk about, don't miss the fact that over 95% of everything we have comes from you, members of the church. And we're slowly starting to generate some income by hiring out the building, but nowhere near enough to be able to base any real plans for the future on it. Therefore, all of what I'm about to share with you comes from you, a church consisting of around 100 members, which, in my opinion, makes what I'm about to share all the more remarkable. We exist as a body of people because dozens of you give regularly to the church as an act of worship. Then we, as elders, along with Bill Law, our treasurer, and the trustees, draw up what we think is a responsible plan for allocating that money in pursuit of the vision that God has given us. Our average monthly income for the budget year 2020 to 21 was £9,635 per month, compared with the previous 2 years of £8,808 in 2018-19 and then £9,400 in 2019-20. And based on the historic faithfulness of regular giving, we then set a budget of £9,750 a month in the budget year ending in 2022. Currently, from September to January, our average monthly income has been £9,670 per month. Thank you. Now, on top of this, we've also had several one-off gifts given to the church in recent months that total £42,700. And let me just say that again in case you missed it. £42,700 has recently been donated by individuals giving one-off gifts to the church for use in pursuing the vision that God has called us to. Truly remarkable. Thank you. Okay, now let's talk about how we're spending the money. First off, we are a charity, which means that we can't, and wouldn't want to anyway, run at a profit or create large stockpiles of funds just for the sake of it. No, instead, every pound that's given then gets allocated against something that's related to our vision. And we determined to spend our income from general offerings like this. Our total expected expenditure for the year 2021 to 22 is approximately £135,000. How are we spending it? Well, first, it's our belief that the church household ought to operate in the same way that our domestic households operate, with at least 10% of that money set aside to be given away for the benefit of others. We therefore decided to give out of the initial 10% of any money that comes in towards a few things. We decided to give towards our apostolic family of churches. We decided to give in support of the persecuted or suffering church. We've decided to give towards 2 church plants in Istanbul and then as well to other local situations that we come across throughout the year. That's all the first 10%. Approximately 37% of our expenditure goes on this building, or the building. That includes servicing our mortgage, utilities, office costs, and other related items. 34% is set against staff costs, which includes 4 days a week of my time and 2 days a week from our cafe manager. The rest we then use to pay for ministries like youth work or Sunday services, communications in the cafe, along with other leadership costs. A full breakdown of our budget is available to anyone upon request. And because of the incredible generosity of you, the church members, We have existed as a church in Seaford for 11 years now, and we've been able to establish ourselves in a home of our own with a growing sense of community and purpose. It is a privilege to be on this journey with you. Thank you. Now, with the extra gifts that have come in recently, then the growing potential and the vision that we have, here's a few extra decisions that we've taken on top of our regular budget setting. Staff. Now, we've had need for some time to get ourselves into better shape regarding the background structure of the church. And so we've made available and recently hired 2 part-time staff positions of, number 1, the operations manager, and number 2, the building supervisor. Alongside that, we have then also taken a decision to spend some money that's come in on a few extra items. We are going to be purchasing a hearing loop for the main hall, an emergency defibrillator, some more lights in the main hall, and I'm also thrilled to announce that we've recently decided to bring an intern onto the team for the next 12 months at least. Of the remaining money recently donated, we intend to also use it to ensure that the building is watertight, since we're aware of works that need to be carried out on several of our outward-facing walls. This must be a priority for us. After that, it's our hope that we can then move to phase 1 of our building development, the knocking through of the cafe room into the main hall to both alleviate pressure on a Sunday morning, but also to allow us to develop the work of the cafe for the community. That's it. That's our income, expenditure, and also some of the future plans that we have. I hope you have found it helpful and inspiring. Now, we are called to be, as a community, a life-giving community that is the most prayerful, generous, and courageous that we can be. We've got a vision to establish prayer retreats in the town, to share the gospel with every household in the area, and to give away hundreds of thousands of pounds to others. Alongside the previously mentioned money that we're giving away this year, we also recently took up a gift day in which we raised £5,450 that we then gave away to, on the one hand, a local women's refuge and another group supporting Afghan refugees. Thank you so much for your commitment to what God is doing among us. Equally, if you're not giving to the church, or you would like to start giving towards the work and vision of Life Church Seaford, perhaps as part of your worship to God, or if you'd like to give towards something specific from all the things that I've mentioned, you can do so easily and simply. You can give online by going to www.seaford.life/give, or you can give on Sundays by using one of the envelopes available. Alternatively, you can give using the bank details here and using the reference Seaford for all of your gifts. Any questions or comments, please do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you, and I'm always very happy to talk through any of the details in this video. Thank you once again. I'm now going to hand over to Simon Howitt, who's our Chair of Trustees, to update you on where we're at as a church progressing in our charitable status in our journey towards autonomy. God bless you.
Thanks, Jez. My name's Simon Howitt, and I'm talking today as Chair of Trustees for Life Church Seaford. At the back end of 2019, along with our plans to become an autonomous church, Jez asked me to form a board of trustees as part of our journey to autonomy. So we appointed Paul Jeffrey, Bill Law as our treasurer, Francesca Allen, Jonathan Clark, and myself. As a team, we've been working since April 20 to put in several things that allow us to achieve our ultimate goal of autonomy. The first was setting up a limited company, which in normal terms would be easy, but of course COVID-19 came and that delayed that process. That company was finally opened in December of 2020. Then we set about going through the somewhat arduous application of becoming a charity, which we did at the beginning of 2021, and at the back end of 21 finally got our charity number, which meant that we had a company, a charity, and a board of trustees. Then what we did was we looked at the issue of the building, because the building is currently owned by our friends at Eastbourne within their charity. And we have applied for a mortgage. We've got a mortgage offer accepted, and now we've instructed solicitors to move the building from their charity to our charity. The current date that we're all aiming for is to complete everything by the 31st of March 2022, so that we all then, as an eldership team, as a deacon team, as a trustee team, as a church body, then set our own direction along the lines that the elders have already mapped out for us. This means there's lots of practical things to deal with. So in February and March, we'll be busy moving insurance policies and all the things that come with being your own self-contained unit. One of the key things you can help us out with, as we've also going through setting up our own bank account for this, is the moving of monthly giving and mandates. So we'll be talking to you from the front of church about how we'll facilitate that and how we'll make that easy over the coming weeks. Clearly there's a lot to do, and there's a lot that has been done, and we're all excited about what the future holds for us. Your part in helping us make that journey easy will be really appreciated. Thank you for your continued support and for the hard work of all those involved. It's much appreciated. We'll give you future updates in the future. Thank you.